CHS Safety Reimbursement Program. My name is Scott Pearson. I'm the Director of Risk and Asset Development for CHS Propane. And we'll get started. So our agenda today, we'll talk a little bit about CHS, a brief history of the program, a review of the 2019 program and what's been added and changed, go through the program mechanics, and at any point in time during this presentation, there is a point where you can, at any time, type in a question, and we have a moderator here monitoring those questions. Feel free to type them in, and we'll be checking on those, and then have a time at the end to answer any of the questions that we didn't address or you still have at the end of the presentation. So again, just a little bit about CHS. CHS is a global agribusiness owned by farmers, ranchers, and cooperatives across the United States. We're diversified in energy, grain, and foods. Headquartered in Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota, we supply energy, crop nutrients, grain marketing services, animal feed, and food ingredients. We also operate 2 oil refineries and pipeline networks. We also manufacture and market and distribute Cenex brand refined fuels, lubricants, propane, and renewable energy products. A little bit more about CHS Propane. We wholesale propane in a multitude of NGL products, over 1 billion gallons of sales annually in those 2 areas. And in the graphic over there, you can see 10% market share. We partner with customers nationwide. We operate in 48 states, divided into 9 sales territories. We own and operate rail reship terminals, Minnesota, Wisconsin, North Dakota, Washington, and Maine, as well as supply different propane across a varied amount pipeline, and can supply out of a lot of different areas throughout the United States and Canada. And really want to highlight that we're dedicated to the safety of our people, customers, and the consumers throughout the propane supply chain. We're now going to take a little bit of time and go through a brief history of the CHS Safety Reimbursement Program. The CHS Propane Safety Reimbursement Program began back in 1999. There's issues of the time, really back at that late 90s date, focused on 3 key areas. The first being consumer awareness, and in layman's terms, that's been referred to as the duty to warn issue around propane and out to the homeowner space. The second was around training, making sure that the marketers that CHS sells to on the wholesale side are training their employees per all of the CTEP classes and training modules that are out there. And the last focused are just around compliance, and compliance with code, compliance with case law, compliance with a lot of different areas. All that being said, the industry has come a long way since 1999. And we want to highlight that we've reimbursed almost $7 million since its inception in 1999, which is an incredible amount of money put back into the safety programs throughout the United States in the propane sales space. And really, we're asking at this point in time to move beyond compliance. So right now we want to highlight really what the 2019 program is and how we're deploying that at this point in time. We did a lot of work, CHS Propane, and did extensive refinement and listening sessions around the safety reimbursement program. It really was a year-long effort of looking at how we can make this a better, more used, well understood, a lot of different things that we wanted to make sure we're hitting the marks, as well as being, again, that safety leader in the industry, trying to make sure that we're propelling everything forward for the betterment of the industry that's using this program. So what we did, we really settled and focused on 3 key areas, and we'll go in each one of those a little bit deeper depth and trying to explain which what you can and can't do in each one of these and how we're going to be going forward in 2019. The first centered around customer focus. So that's our CHS wholesale propane customers, and that falls into 2 different areas: community training and safety materials and collateral. The second key area was around marketer training, and that again centers on 3 different areas: CTEP training, information sessions at a CHS roadshow, and safety equipment. And the final piece is around a custom program look. So again, we'll give a little bit deeper dive and take a look at how each one of these will be reimbursed moving forward in 2019. So again, in the customer focus area, the first area we wanted to focus on was on community training. So what this is we would be able to, our customer would be able to reimburse for anything involving any first responder or fire department training, including the cost of propane used for an event. Shown here is a location, CHS retail location out in Glenwood, Minnesota, where they hold an annual event with the local fire department about how to train and fight a fire at a domestic tank. I know that happens in a lot of different areas and a lot of different communities throughout our geography, and we really support that because it's an important safety step in making sure that the local fire department, first responders all know how to respond to a very dangerous event. There's a lot of great PERC consumer awareness material also that could be coupled into something like this. CHS Propane Kids is a effort that we teamed with PERC on to really give some consumer awareness materials for propane and propane around the egg space and with children. And PERC has a lot of that great material available. And really what we're hoping for in this area of safety reimbursement is that you could use some of the collateral that PERC's developed to couple with a community training event that you might have a safety day or invite the community in to talk about some of the things that go along with propane and propane safety. The next piece in the customer focus area is really unchanged from a lot of times what we've done in the past. So that is any of the safety materials and collateral that have been developed by PERC and available on their website. Things like the new and improved propane safety booklet, which is shown here on the right. That's been just newly deployed out into the industry, and it's been revamped to kind of be up to the modern times and information warnings that have been developed throughout the years. Other things like the important propane safety information for you and your family brochure, or the small cylinder brochure that PERC has. There's numerous others that are available on the propanecouncil.org website, and we'll reimburse for any of those things that are very important to the safety community for the consumers. One thing to highlight here that is a change from years past is that postage for sending all of these consumer awareness material out to your customers no longer qualifies for safety reimbursement. The next, so the second key area again we wanted to focus on was in the realm of marketer training. First up in that space is all of the traditional CTEP training. So anything will cover all expenses for anything in the existing module space. So plant, basic, bobtail, rail, etc. Shown over here is 4.2, placing vapor distribution systems into operation. Also, any CTEP remaining current expenses, a lot of the online registration and needs around what we've done in the past. Really didn't explicitly call that out, but I know that's also new requirements from MPGA and PERC. So that new program for remaining current, it would be available to be reimbursed for. Like in the past, we exclude any travel and hotels associated with the training. Also, any training that PERC's developed through the years, such as the dispensing propane safely DVDs and program that continues to be used. So any of those materials that we've reimbursed for in the past will continue to do so. New this year in 2019 is in conjunction with the CHS equipment roadshows is a safety session. So attending a safety talk on Beyond Compliance by Ken Mueller, pictured here over on the left. Ken is a CHS employee with many years of experience within the propane industry. He's been a CTEP and a CTEP instructor, as well as serving on PERC and MPGA committees for pretty much his entire career. So he'll be giving some ideas and thoughts around some of the things we can do beyond compliance. I know if you've attended one of the CHS equipment roadshows in the past, he's given some similar kind of talks and thoughts around some of that same space. So how that'll work, well, marketers will be eligible for up to $100 per person, up to a combined $1,000 to attend one of these sessions. We encourage you to bring your drivers and service techs also to these sessions if they're available, because it's important to get the safety message not just to the potential managers, but also down into the laborers out in the field working, and get some feedback, I think, too, in discussion, which Ken's always open and willing to listen to. Loves fielding questions and answering questions from out in the field. So we'll be sending further information about these equipment roadshows, where they're going to be. Geographically, we're hoping that they're going to stretch in each one of our CHS account managers' territories, and they'll be throughout different areas of the United States, probably starting in next spring. And again, look for more marketing and outreach, both from our equipment side and our CHS account managers. And the final piece in the marketing marketer training module is the marketer safety equipment. This actually was an idea that came from one of our customers a couple years ago, and they were asking us, could you reimburse for safety equipment? And we took a look at that idea and thought it was a fantastic new application that we could use safety reimbursement dollars for. So all of this would be available through our CHS equipment website, and I'll show you in a little bit where that is and how you can get to it. Really, we chose a whole plethora of different safety equipment, things like a leak check kit and leak check equipment that you could use at a homeowner tank. FR clothing was a big thing we heard when we were listening and kind of trying to refine what the program is and how it would be used. Things like PPE, shown over on the right there is a face shield, hard hats, gloves, important things for, we want to make sure that the drivers and service techs are protected as they're working on equipment. And finally, cathodic protection testing. And that's just, some examples of different things. And there's a whole bunch more on the website that we would be allowed to be used for safety reimbursement dollars. Again, that's housed on the CHS Equipment Store webpage, which I'll show you here in a little bit, chspropaneequipment.com, under the CHS catalog. So really, throughout the year, you can purchase any equipment on this safety page. Just make sure you save your invoices for the end of the year as you're sending in for reimbursement. Just a quick rundown how you would find that. So the web address is www.chspropaneequipment.com. If you look over on the right, when you pull that up, there's a spot that says CHS Catalog. You click on that and it pulls a drop-down menu down, and on there it shows safety equipment down at the bottom. And you click on that and it brings up the catalog. Again, all of the things on this safety equipment catalog page would be available to be reimbursed for. The final piece of the three key areas, the third piece is the custom programs. So this is really the challenge out to you, and we're willing to listen, your chance to be creative. And again, we're challenging our customers, think beyond compliance, think beyond how you can promote safety and safe handling and safe use of propane. We're also throwing out the challenge that potentially you might want to look at other locations in your area. Is there ways you can organize together a community event? Is there ways that you can organize together to go on some unique safety program? And really trying to get some ideas flowing around how as an industry we can do a better job of promoting safety and again, safe handling and use of propane. For this, we're just asking that any ideas get submitted to us by July 1st of next summer, so 2019. That allows us and you to get some ideas. Is this a good idea or not? We're going to hopefully give you some guidance before that, and also allows you a couple months in the past that to make sure you have something you could use your dollars for. Really, the first step in this process is to talk to your CHS Propane account manager, or and I'll send at the end of this presentation, I have my contact information. You can get a hold of me directly, Scott Pearson, and we'll go and talk through kind of what you're looking for and thinking about. Here's just few of the ideas we've heard and talked to. One of the things that in the past we've reimbursed for and continue to consider is an insurance compliance program. Insurance companies a lot of times will go in and make sure you're doing things correctly and up to code and again case law. Other things, potentially a propane safety education system at a local school. Or custom safety marketing material from your location. Or perhaps education and safety sessions for auto gas dispensers, especially when it comes to school buses. So really all three of these or four of these, we've reached out to Stuart Flato at PERC, and they're putting together some marketing potential packages that we could put together and group around certain topics like ag safety. Again, I'll go back to CHS, the Propane Kids program that we developed. There's a lot of great consumer awareness material that was developed specifically in the ag space and again for kids and how to handle and be around and be aware of the hazards and benefits of propane, not just the downside but the positives too. And really just throwing it out there and making sure that everyone's aware that at any point in time your idea might become a part of our 2020 program. Like I said in the equipment portion of this, one of our customers had the idea of reimbursing for safety equipment, and we thought that's a fantastic application and use of the dollars that we are doing. Next up, we're going to go through how the program works and just a little bit of a recap of the semantics, especially if you're a new customer potentially for CHS. So again, if you're not a CHS customer and want to become one, listed here is a 1-800 number, 800-852-8184. That'll get you in contact with someone on the CHS sales team, and we'll get back to you and get you in contact with the sales account manager for your area. If you were a previous CHS customer and are interested in some of the new things that we've got going on, including the safety reimbursement program, and know who your account manager is, you can contact them directly and talk through some of the great new things we got going on. If you're an existing CHS propane customer, on the CHS control room, propane control room, all of the forms, further detailed information are available on a new drop-down portion that was just launched a few weeks ago under the rebate tab. In that rebate tab, down at the bottom of the page, you'll see a link for the CHS safety reimbursement form, as well as more information about the program, a little bit more detailed, deeper dive into what we have. Also on there is a new feature that we also put that shows the gallons that you've bought from CHS throughout the year, and just a running tally of how many safety reimbursement dollars that you're eligible for at that moment in time. You can access the control room again through My CHS at my.chsinc.com. And again, this is a reminder for most of our customers, but again, if you're a new or a potential customer of CHS, how the program works is 1/10 of a cent of for every gallon of propane purchased through CHS is eligible for reimbursement. So that boils it down very simply. If you buy 1 million gallons of propane through the fiscal year, which runs September 1st through August 31st, you'd be eligible for $1,000 of safety reimbursement. There is no cap on the amount you can earn. Really all we're asking for is to fill out the form over here shown on the left, save all the invoices and receipts and etc. throughout the year, and send in this form typically by the end of the month of August. So we ask for August 25th, 2019. That can be sent into your account manager, or we've created this year a new web or an email address, chspropanesafety@chsinc.com. What happens then is the forms are all collected. We are tracking also throughout the year all the gallons purchased throughout the year. And we take all the forms, all the receipts, and we make sure that things match up, dollar values match up. We do some auditing behind the scenes. And then typically that takes about a month, and by the end of September, around that time, we'll mail out the checks, and you'll get a hard check in the mail for the dollars you've asked for back. At this point in time, we're going to open it up to some of the questions that have come in, if there are any, or if not, then we can ask for questions right now, and we'll give it a few minutes and see if there's anything that anyone has some questions about. And we're not really hearing any questions right now. Keep those coming in at any point in time. We got a few more slides to go through, and we'll see if anything comes in the interim. So with that, I explained earlier, if you have any further questions, or if you are viewing this online or is emailed to you after the fact in recorded form, if you have any questions that come up after you've viewed this, or you've taken a look at the forms, or you've taken a look at the explanation and the material, You can contact your CHS Propane account manager, or you can get a hold of me again, Scott Pearson, and listen to my phone number here, 651-355-8509, and my email address listed. We want to thank everyone that's tuned in today, and again, apologize for the issue earlier. And we look forward to your continued support of propane safety throughout the United States. And again, we're committed, and we have been committed to safety and making sure that propane is used safely and continues to be a clean burning and efficient fuel for everyone that uses it. We also look forward to partnering with you throughout the coming year, throughout anything we do with CHS and CHS Propane. And I'm just looking over at our moderator. I don't think we've had any other questions come in. So with that, I think we're going to call it a day. And thank you everyone for your time.